Later.
First and foremost, this vlog really isn't a travel vlog. It's not really a food blog. I mean, it kind of is a travel blog. It's kind of a food blog. But you know what this blog really is about? Go ahead, Dad. Rise up an insurrection.
We need the refund!
Occult and chaos magic. There will be times in which I talk about that, or toroidal metaphysics. Or the engine stalled. Go ahead, Dad. Rise up an insurrection.
We need the refund! Maybe no decent last week.
Geez, Dad, would you like to narrate instead of me? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Gas.
Or the engine stalled. Now, I don't think this happens very often, but this is always a big fear when I think of long journeys on outriggers, especially if they're 2 hours long with a rocky sea.
There, I'm doing them. Only 8 minutes to go. It happens only in Cebu. I told you.
And what do you get for a prize? Nothing.
You have to refund our money. We need to refund.
Go ahead, Dad. Rise up an
We
insurrection.
need to refund.
It's a mutiny.
Today. Excessive passengers.
Stop!
Too many passengers.
Dad is raising mutineer.
We need to refund.
No one's laughing though about mutiny.
It was laughing.
So just in case you were ever wondering, these outriggers can actually tow each other about the same length.
Because of the volcano.
Will you stop, old man? These things are not even related.
What's this?
Your
You're
refund.
paying me. You're paying me, see? He's paying me.
So Dad's mutiny somewhat worked. We got his senior discount back.
No, he's paying me. We're making an announcement.
Is that hush money?
Yeah,
Man,
hush money.
hush money means also you swim with the fishes somehow. Back at Malapascua Island, and this is the Bounty Beach. Which, you know, like, there are a lot of dogs here, and they're very territorial, and sometimes they fight each other, and sometimes they'll bark at humans because, you know, they're being assholes. There's no better way to put it. And it's almost sunset in these parts. They just got back for 30 p.m. and almost an hour till sunset. So I guess I would describe Bounty Beach as kind of like White Beach in Boracay. If you're familiar with that, that's one of the most popular beaches in the Philippines, on the most popular island in the Philippines perhaps. The only difference is you'll see a lot of boats beached up here. So this is actually a really small island. You could probably walk the entire perimeter of the island within 2 to 3 hours, from my understanding, and I haven't done that. So some of this is from like typhoon wreckage. So most recent typhoon passed through here and left some ships, some shipwrecks offshore, and some of them are beached up here, some of them all this lumber here, some pontoons as well. So this is a pretty common sight along the beach, which is kind of sad given that it's a small island. This is a very nice beach, but it's kind of sullied by that. And then you have a lot of these restaurants here, dive resorts especially, because this island is how it got its notoriety, really. It's because of thresher sharks. Thresher sharks are quite uncommon to find in the wild, but over here they have a habitat just for thresher sharks, or where they tend to stay more often. And yeah, lots of restaurants here, usually catering to Western clientele. The sand here is a little more coarse when you get towards the beach or gets the water, but not too bad when you're walking on this side, closer to the establishments here. And the cool thing about this island is you have a lot of locals who swim in these beaches quite a good bit, and there are a lot of kids especially. So locals and foreigners alike share this beach. Now locals of course live more inland, but because the island's easily traversable, they're in here in a flash, basically, usually late afternoon. And like I said, lots of dogs. And of course I've confessed on this blog before, or if I haven't, I dislike dogs so much. Now as a writer, I'd love to be compared to James Joyce. Now there are only 3 things in common I have with James Joyce. Well, my middle name is James. Secondly, Joyce and I have a terrible phobia of lightning. Now, why are you visiting the Philippines if you're so scared of thunderstorms? Yeah, I try as much as possible to come in the dry season so I don't get to see them, because even the sight of lightning actually freezes me up in terror. And one key part of Finnegan's Wake, or especially early, is what they call the thunderclap word, and it's a very long word you cannot really say. It's got like so many damn syllables, like 100, well, I don't remember, but basically it's the big thunder word in Finnegan's Wake. And Finnegan's Wake, of course, if you've actually read it or tried to read it, you'll know that it's a bunch of nonsense, which actually does say something profound about everything, actually. One of literature's greatest practical jokes. And the third thing, of course, with Joyce is that I have in common with him is, well, we both are very terribly afraid of dogs. But in my case, it's just a disdain of dogs. And there's more dogs here. Ugh. These sleeping dogs here. Scuba school. This is probably a great place to get your PADI certification here and in South Cebu in Moalboal. Let's look at these things. Whoop. This is probably the best vantage point on Bounty Beach as far as capturing the sunset. So our resort is more towards the southeast. This is more the south of the island, towards Cebu mainland, whereas we're going southeast towards the view of Leyte across the strait here. Okay, so what else can I say about Malapascua? So I already said it kind of has the feeling of Boracay before it kind of got popular. It's known for thresher sharks. It's really a scuba diving haven. You're really into that. I don't think there is really much for snorkeling, but if you're a beach bum and like small islands to traverse around, I think this is a nice place. Now, some of the beaches, as far as I'm concerned, leave something to be desired. Especially all these boats running around. Of course, you'll see garbage around the beach and so on. And the sand's pretty coarse. But, not a bad place to be shipwrecked. Now, of course, the Spaniards, 500 years ago didn't think so. And that's the reason how it got its name. Malapascua means bad Christmas. It was around the time Spaniards had sunken their ship around this island in 1520. Now, of course, there's no need to burn the ships for Hernan Cortez because Mother Nature beats your damn ship. Yeah. And of course, that was just really one minor setback for the Spanish Empire when they were here. And before they really occupied. And of course, it just so happens the amount of time in which the Spanish occupied the Philippines kind of sounds like it came out of a Gabriel Garcia Marquez novel. It's such a weird sort of symmetry of 333 years. How nice. Palindromic, as it were, too. Lots of boats and lots of ropes. Might be quite a dramatic sunset with clouds in there. You never know. So like I said, this is actually a lot of locals live on this island. As far as like education goes, I think what I've heard is only elementary school is covered here. And I don't know what the arrangement is, or I never found out what the arrangement is concerning secondary and higher. My guess is they My guess is it's kind of like the... So I did visit a Muslim village in Phang Nga Bay, Thailand. You may have seen it. It's Koh Phangan. It's kind of like a similar format, I would think, in that kids, once they get to secondary, they actually will be away from home for about 5 days a week, I believe, and come back at the end of the week back to their village. And of course, room and board are included. Sometimes you'll see little wrecks out here. I think that's part of a wreck, or what looks to be as such, because this island is so small. One of the owners of our resort said that it takes them time to bring them to shore and then to dispose of them, and then there's no real disposal system on this island. I think what they do is they just burn the trash. And they have a funny system such that if you buy any, let's say if you bought any plastic bottles of water, you have to return them back to where you got them from, and they will do the disposing for you. A lot of the resorts don't want to do that for you. Unless, of course, you purchase it from them. It's around the southeast, surrounding around this Bounty Beach. I think one publication, I believe it was the Telegraph, I came across, basically a UK publication that put this one of the best beaches in Asia, and I don't know when that was dated. Okay, that's a respectable choice, but I kind of beg to differ based off the scenery. There are probably better choices, especially in this country that's dotted with lots and lots of pristine beaches. And of course we went to one today, Kalanggaman Island. You have to watch your step around here. A lot of shells and stones and sleeping dogs, as always. Almost there to our resort. Once again, rounding round southeast corner of Malapascua Island. So this is almost the end of this video because we're almost at our resort. So let's see. And of course the last night in Malapascua before we ferry over to Bantayan Island, another one of Cebu's gems in the north as far as islands, paradises are concerned. So if you like this video, if you happen to like this video, give me a thumbs up, and better yet, subscribe and hit that bell icon, and you'll get push notifications for every video that I do. And believe me, there's lots of them in the pipeline, especially as we travel around and make nuisances of ourselves everywhere we go, while being quite subversive in that. And so with that in mind, I bid you adieu for now. And remember, especially when you see all these resorts that cater to Western clientele, keep that in mind when I always say that how the empire never ended in some places, and in fact it never ended anywhere.